This morning, America is mourning the loss of 3 heroes killed in that Iranian-backed militia attack in Jordan. The soldiers, all from Georgia, ID'd as Sergeant William Rivers, Specialist Breonna Moffett, and her close friend, Specialist Kennedy Sanders.
Today, 24-year-old Kennedy will be laid to rest as loved ones remember her as bubbly and full of life and eager to serve the military, just like her dad, a Marine.
Kennedy's parents, Oneida and Shawn Sanders, joined us now. Welcome. Thanks so much for joining us. I know so much hit you so quickly. We're all sorry for your loss. Can you tell us what these last few hours have been like for you, Oneida?
Well, honestly, I think I'm still in a state of shock and disbelief. Reality probably won't set in until we actually travel to go receive her remains. That's the time that I'm really not looking forward to. I'm dreading it, actually. But right now, I'm still just in a state of disbelief.
Yeah.
That's so understandable. And Shawn, we see you holding a picture of your baby girl. And now we know her. We know her face. We know that she loved this country and wanted to serve our country. She's one of the best among us. So tell us more about her. Tell us about your daughter.
She was the life of the party, many would say. She enjoyed life. She was very competitive. She was goal-oriented, and she loved the service. She loved serving our country. And, you know, I just miss her right now. This morning has been tough on me.
Yeah, absolutely. Shawn, do you think she joined the Army Reserves because her dad was a Marine?
Well, my father was in the Army. Her older brother was in the Navy, an uncle that's in the Navy, a cousin that was in the Air Force. So we're a family that has served. So I don't know where her influence actually came from, but I know she enjoyed her time in the service.
That's great.
So it's pretty amazing and doubly sad is that one of her best friends, I understand, was Breonna Moffett, who also lost her life, Oneida?
Yes, that's correct. She made a lot of friends during her time in the military, even people who she went through basic training with, and I think it's called AIT with. She still kept in contact with a lot of those people. Breonna Moffett was one of the ones who, you know, she grew a close relationship with. Every time she would call me on the phone or FaceTime me on the phone, Breonna was always somewhere nearby, even in the background, participating in the conversation.
Wow, that is so sad. And Breonna just had a birthday. She just turned, I believe, 23 years old, 9 days before she died. And you said that she called home. I understand that your daughter, Oneida, called home almost every single day. Did she ever give any sense of imminent danger?
No, ma'am, not since she's been in Jordan. She did mention one incident in Kuwait when they were there about a drone being spotted, and the military base was put on lockdown and had different parameters for safety. But that was the only incident that she mentioned.
Yeah. Shawn, you know, with your daughter calling home every day, I'm sure you got some details, just general details. What was her unit doing over there?
Actually, we didn't get much details. What she was doing was not necessarily classified, but that was an area that they was informed not to discuss. And we didn't really talk about that. We really talked more about our future and what we were going to do when she got home.
Yeah, I can imagine. If I could ask you too, Kennedy, just talking about the operation in particular, they say that what happened is the incoming drone, an American incoming drone coming back, got, I guess, cross-signaled with an enemy drone coming in. You probably, being in the military, might have a better understanding than us about these circumstances. What do they tell you?
At this point, the Army is doing a thorough investigation, so we haven't got much information. Me being prior service, I understand that they're not going to release any information that they're not absolutely sure is correct. I don't know. I don't care how much pressure I was to try to put on them. They're going to make sure they get it right and inform the parents, and we deserve that. to know what actually happened instead of giving us a knee-jerk reaction or just giving us something just to appease us for the moment.
Oneida, was she asleep? Did they explain that to you? Were they actually in their barracks asleep?
They did not give us any details to that effect. The only thing that the officers who visited our home told us that Kennedy Sanders was deceased and that she was in Tower 22, killed by an unmanned aircraft or drone. I can't remember the word he used, but that's the only details he gave us.
And Oneida, you both deserve answers, and hopefully you get them very soon. And on that front, this attack didn't come without warning. There had been 160 similar attacks in the Middle East since October. What do you think about that? And do you think this could have been prevented?
Well, me having prior experience and 160 successful avoidance of an imminent incident, that's a great percentage, but it only takes one, mishap to cause lives. And my daughter, she chose to serve her country, and her sacrifice, she chose to serve the country and give us our freedoms, be part of us getting our freedoms. And stuff happened, and it's hard for the parents to endure. That's why I honor her so much and believe she's a hero.
She is a hero, yes.
Absolutely. Shawn and Oneida, I don't know which of you would prefer to speak about this, but, Americans' hearts are broken that 3 brave service members perished in this. And now we're talking about, how the United States will respond. And there are all sorts of things out in the press today. Do we hit Iran? Do we hit the proxies? Do we hit them financially? Shawn and Oneida, how would you like the United States to respond?
As a grieving parent, I would not want to see any other parent go through what we're going through right now. But given the circumstances, our child and the others who lost their lives are considered heroes in this situation. However, the president of the United States decides to respond, it won't change our situation at all. So we just choose to move forward and continue to pray for those who are still there, and continue to pray for Kennedy's battle buddies who are still there, who are also grieving with us, grieving the loss of Kennedy, Moffitt, and Rivers. We just continue to pray for them. So, whatever is decided, I trust that it'll be a good decision that keeps everyone in the safest position possible.
In the best interest of the United States.
Surely. And Oneida, you just mentioned the President of the United States. Have you heard from the President or anybody at the White House or anybody other than that guy who knocked on your door?
I have heard from some other government officials. Also, the governor of Georgia, Governor Brian Kemp, has put in a call to us. Some of our congressmen who represent our area have called us. We are having an appointment this afternoon with the casualty assistance officer, who told us that we had to complete certain paperwork in order for the president to be released to call us. So we are expecting a call from President Biden. And
they reassured us that the president or the Secretary of State Secretary of State was willing to call us. Wanted the opportunity to call us. We just needed to sign the proper paperwork.
Understood. So we understand, too, all 3 who lost their lives from Georgia, and just about 40 were wounded. 9 were seriously wounded. So the damage was extensive. Lastly, before we go, would you both just weigh in so the American people can learn a little bit more about your daughter and what you want everyone to know? Oneida, if you wanted to start.
Yes, I just want everyone to know that Kennedy was a fun-loving person. She lived her life to the fullest. She enjoyed life. She was an anime enthusiast. She was open to learning new things. She just enjoyed her life. And, I just encourage everyone, to do the same. And whenever you think about Kennedy, whether you knew her or not, just think about how joyful of a personality she was, and what such a light that she was to those who had the opportunity to know her.
Well, me being proud service, my interest and, I'm always kind of focused on her commitment to the Army and understanding the ultimate sacrifice. I came home, her big brother came home, my dad came home. A lot of us don't have the opportunity to come home. And for those who don't, we should honor them, and they is deserving of this much attention that my daughter has received. And I'm gracious to be part of it, and that so many people are willing to reach out and share their sentiments about her duty to the country.
Yeah, she had a beautiful smile. She was ambitious. She loved our country, and she died a hero. And she'll always be your baby girl. So thank you so much for allowing us to get to know her a little bit better. Shawn and Oneida, thank you so much.
Thank you.
God bless you and your family.
Thank you.
Thank you. Kennedy Sanders was 24 years old.